Sham is echt tun was da auf Zadig Vov und Beidl nicht mehr gibt aber so ein Schein bin ist der Obligation. Schein bei Rom Yitzchak as Shimon ben Yitzchak. Yesterday we learned the boy side the din of the Mishnah of Kol Nechboshim Zem Zem Mutorim. Mishnah says Mishnah Yud and Pei Gud Mishnah Yud Nichbash is Mutter Zem Zeh. Everything. All Nechboshim is Mutter Zem Zeh. It means the pickling of anything or marinating things was all mutter. Spoke about the Tosis Yonta as Kovish Kamavushal. How could there be such a Mishnah? It's against all the Gemaras and many Gemaras that say Kovish is a Kamavushal. So that was yesterday's shir. But today, just wanted to mention the Rambam. It's Nadi Yehuda, we saw Nadi Yehuda yesterday. Nadi Yehuda brings this Rambam, deals with it. Because the Rambam is different than many of the poskim can understand the Mishnah. Perek Tez Vov and Trumas. Halacha Yutes. But the Rambam was like, Kedere Shebishu by Truma. You have a pot and you cooked in it chulin, the Truma. Well, you wash it by chulin. You can't cook in it chulin, because if you're going to cook chulin, the chulin will become truma. In bishul, and if you did, it's been nice in town. If you rinsed out the keli with water, or with wine, or anything else, it's mutter. Why is it mutter? What's this mutter? What's this mutter? So the prime and the Chamuna, there is a mutter. Avagav the kaimelo and kovish kamavushal. Even though we paskin is kovish kamavushal, so this is mavushal mamish. You cooked chulin in this pot, which cooked previously was cooked truma. So why do you say it's mutter? Avagav the kaimelo kovish kamavushal. So if leimed the truma a kilo, there's a kula by truma. Ukamoishu kilo for the kamon halacha yutes. We find that there's a kula in halacha yutes. So within hachinami, there's a kula here. What's the kula by? In other words, the Rambam Paskins in halacha yutes that it's a mutter by truma. Look at Rambam halacha yutes, Perek Tez Vov, in Hilchos Trumas, Kedei Shebishu by truma, by Vasha by chulin, and Bishu by b'nois in tam. In short of Kedei b'mayim, there is a mutter the Vasha by. What's the heter? It's kovish kamavushal. What's it mean heter to those? What's the heter? Sagt the Derech Hamuna, Avgav the B'shar Surim Loi Mahani, B'tzir Chagola, everything else not going to help you just to make hadocha, just to rinse it out. It's kovish kamavushal. You have to have hagola. You have to burn it out. Ubekli cheres afil hagola Loi Mahani. So the Chaim Truma killed tvei. Because we're talking about Truma, we're not talking about any of this. The time which is bulua from Truma is not also. In Medichu, Mashabehem is Udas Rebbeinu. It's the Bien, the Adocha. If you rinse it out, it takes up whatever is Bien. But something was not Bien, not a problem. Why? Because Truma is a kilo. Also, you look at Chaim, that's the Pshat in the Rambam. Our color is showing him Cholk Minolov. All the Rishonim, that's the rate of Chaim. Kol Rishonim. Who could say there's only a plank? Kol Rishonim is Cholik on the Rambam. The Svile, the Tzorach HaGola, you have to have HaGola. If you cooked something in a pot which was Truma, and you want to cook now Chulin, you need HaGola. Kamoi Kol Asurim. Ubekli Cheres, like Mahani HaGola. Miu Betruma Bezman Hazeh, Shehu Medrabanan. So the Chaim, because Truma Bezman Hazeh, and look to me, the Baz is also like this. It says Yerushalmi. Next page, the Yerushalmi is like this. Okay. Mi betruma bezman hazeh shuv medrabanan kilu b'klicher shim agila gimel pamim da'ayoy v'shuv ein eseret b'tzorach kol pam mayim chadoshim. Azoi zogt Chaim, the reason is because Trum is Bizman Hazeh, and Bas only the Rabbanon, so therefore, Nafish can Hagola, and it doesn't ask it. The Rambam says Friya in Halacha Tes, Hakovish Yerek Shel Chulin, Im Yerek Shel Truma, Arei Ze Mutter Lezorim. By Kovish, not by Bishop. By Kovish, it's Mutter. In the Mishnah, Kol Boshim Mitorim. Yesh La'ayin Frekt Chaim. Heichidomi. This Mishnah that says, our Mishnah, At Kol Anush Boshim Zeh B'Zeh is Mutter. Heichidomi. I Yesh Tam. If there was a time here from the Kvisha, you make Kovish. Is there a time? Tzorach L'aseh Gam B'Yerek Truma. Even if it says Truma is in the Rabbanon, but if there's a time, and a time the Rabbanon, it's in the Rabbanon, it should be also. V'yimein boi tam, b'botzel Truma, b'yerek chulun, tzorach lahatet, should be matet. What's the nafka minute? This is the grain kvisha, it's not kovish kavush, the kovish not kavush. Freit Chaim put aside the whole Tosis Yontiv, the ganze Nodi Behuda, we spoke about yesterday, like the ganze Zach, and say, go to the point. Is there a time here? Then it's also. If there's no time, it's mutter. And I don't know if there's a time or not. Never Kohen. Let the Kohen taste it. Let's see what's going on. Yo, tam, nish tam. Let's solve the whole problem. The ganze lange tshuva for Nodi Yehuda, 4 or 5 pages for Nodi Yehuda. The Tosis Yontim, 6 kashas on the Mishnah. Reb Chaim, what's the problem? I don't understand the whole problem. Yirushalmei, Dr. Chaim, the mighty bistomer. It's talking about stam, meaning I don't know what it is. The ain't tzarich litan. And you don't have to go take a coin and make a lab test and figure out tam. You don't have to do that. Why not? The minon the botzel truma mistame noisen tam. Botzel chulin mistame ein noisen tam. That's a ma'aser. Botzel truma mistame is noisen tam. Why? Because truma. Botzel chulin mistame ein noisen tam. I don't understand what does he want over here? What does it mean? Botzel truma mistame noisen tam. Because it's truma, that's why it's noisen tam. And because it's chulin, that's why it's ain't noisen tam. In other words, because the chumrah, because it's an issue of truma, so isurim for truma. Those are issue the rabbanon, but isurim midos, so merely you have to be machmer, and they're not. Why don't you go just take a kvela, take a coin, and let them taste it? Let's see what's going on. Oshenish the terrace. Okay, zeh kosev b'mishnah nishonim b'mishnah gimel zokter. After I feel it. Now he goes like this. After zokter. He says, even if you're going to say that there is a nigash tam, but because it's a botzel chulin, so it could be saimach on a botzel that's kiyu be'alma. It's only the kiyu. It's only like it's zei be'alma. K'moshe kosev at baz, b'alacha ches ve'in oise miu tam v'lo yehoye b'tam mistaber the mutter afu botzel shutum v'vadei efshir sh'yeh. Okay. So Kaponim without verstehen this Mishnah, the Shred Mishnah, but according to, just to sum it up, according to the Noidi Behuda, but he answers the kasha from the Tosis Yontiv, and there's the fact I can say Kovish and Mutter, the Gemara say in the Gans Bavli, Kovish Arei Kurus Gitzah Kamavushal, Rissa Kamavushal, this should be also. Zog the Noidi Behuda, depends on what kind of vegetables it was. Even though the Mishnah says Kol Anil Boshim, as I look at the Mishnah, right? Comes again Noidi Behuda says that doesn't mean Kol Anil Boshim. It only means those that the Chum said by Zayis, and those things by Botzel, and by Lefes, and by those things the Chum said that it's also, it's Charif, that's what we say Kovashu Kumuvushal. Everything else is not Kovashu Kumuvushal, it's Mutter in Gansen. So when the Mishnah says, Harezi Mutter, Kol it doesn't mean Lav Dafka Kol, it means only those things which the Chumim, B'Chachmosim, he says, they were able to establish which one gives a time, which doesn't give a time. That's the mahalach of the Noidi Behuda. Mashen kein Tasyon to bleibt by Hashtaki Kasha. And Chaim says, it's talking about the Rabbanan. The answer is Bizman Hazeh. He's saying about Bizman Hazeh. That's how he's learning the Pshat in the Rambam. It's passing like the Rambam, talking Bizman Hazeh. What's he going to do with the Mishnah? The Mishnah is not talking about Dafka Bizman Hazeh. Chaim doesn't touch that. So, nice Mishnah, the Pshat. Okay, Akaponim, this is a bit I'm going to the Zach. What's talking Bizman Hazeh? Okay, let me get any more about it. Chov, Tzadik Vov, Omid Beis.
There's another gear solution. There's also, like the Gemara says from Rabbi Yochanan, it's Nishlakim.
Nishlakim, yeah, that's the Gemara. In the Gemara, Rabbi Yochanan, yeah, that's in the Gemara. Yeah.
Kasha's on the Rambam. So who says this? That the only Kasha's on the Rambam?
Kasha the Rambam says the mutter, and
So
the
the
Rambam says
Rambam is-
kovish. He's
so
talking about
Rambam
kovish,
is,
huh?
So the Rambam Suma was Manaz Memeloi Meko.
No, he doesn't say that.
Someone says this.
Chaim says that Bisman Hazeh you make it because it's a Rabban, but that's the pshat in the Mishnah.
No,
It's hard to say
It's
that.
out there in the Mishnah.
Pshat in the Rambam.
No, he said Av. Mana Zeh is not enough anymore.
He's saying the Rambam is talking it's mutter. Why?
The
Because
Mishnah is not like that. No, Av. By the way, Mana Zeh is not
he's saying Bisman Hazeh. He's saying it on the Rambam.
No, even Rambam is saying Rambam is in then time. Then Mana Zeh there wouldn't be Machlokes anymore because it's told Rabbanon. But then it's not
It
going
says it's
It's
mutter. So way you're going to turn here. It's not simple.
It says Kol Shenim Chol.
Kovish yeg shelchun. Kovish, yeah. It says kovish yeg shelchun. So why I kovish kum vushel? So the kilo by truma kilo.
Kol Shenim Chol Kol Rambam.
What?
Kol Shenim Chol
Kol-
Kol Rambam.
yeah.
Av. Mana Zeh.
Oh, that was what we said.
Kovish kum vushel. So chleim truma kilo kum kilo. First is like this.
That's
Even though
important.
kovish is kum vushel, but truma you make it.
Always.
Always.
Why? Why? Then he said v'yeshoimim the kam mayri shenichbish pochshem meisles gam nichbish mutal zorim mikom tzachado.
Rambam's talking about Zman Hazeh for sure. Rambam's asking Psak Allah for Zman Hazeh.
Kan
The Mishnah.
no. Right?
Right.
Rambam's-
Usually Rambam is explaining.
Yeah,
Usually explaining.
We're not talking about what was.
Av. Mana Zeh. Kol Shenim won't argue because everyone agrees now with Mana Zeh. Homophagy is only then, not Mana Zeh.
Usually the Rambam, when the Rambam is talking Bizman Hazeh, the Bizman Hazeh is different with the Reis of the Rabban. Usually the Rambam, but as I say, the Baz is
Stam,
Baz.
if he doesn't say
Yeah.
Stam, he's passing for it's now.
He brings up for
Psak
some
Allah. It's Allah.
He brings up for some boy down Karbonas to Rambam.
Yeah, well, I mean,
Okay. That's,
okay, but sure. So after I'm shot, you know what I mean.
oh, you have the other kids who call him the Shlokin.
Okay, I'm not passing that guess.
Yeah, right,
The
okay,
Beklish
no.
that guess. Right? He brings the But whichever way you're going to turn, Kol Anuch Boshim told him the Lashon HaMishnah that we have in front of us. If you don't go with the Yishalmi, it's Zeh. So Alamai, go with the Yishalmi. The Yishalmi says, that's Kanuch Boshim. It's called Nishlokim, and Nishlokim is different. Fatik Aledi. That's the easiest way around the problem. But you see, the Tayshanta Shmuel Leiden is that, right? Tayshanta Shmuel listen to it. Okay, state in the Mishnah. Let's go back to the Mishnah. Huh? It's less than.
Rambam Kasha.
Yeah. The shlokim. There's no din of kovish kavusha on the shlokim. Okay, but that's the din. Okay, I hear, but that's
The lower cooking.
yeah, it's low. It doesn't go. Yeah, but shlokim get that's the din. Okay, so that's the din. But this gets is shred. Okay, Zogdigum in the Mishnah state in Tzadikvav and Aleph, Kruv Reb Shimon Oimer. Zogdig Reb Shimon, Kruv cabbage shel shakia im Kruv shel baal. There's two types of cabbage. One cabbage shakia, which you have to have artificial irrigation, and you put it together. You make nichbash together in Kruv shel baal. Also mipnei shuhu belay. These two types of cabbages. One comes from a dry field. One comes from a wet field. One needs water. And one doesn't need water, it stays with the rainwater. You put these two together. It's also mipnei shuhu belay. Which is belay for which? Look in the Mishnah. Look the Pnei Moshe. Shimon Oim b'kruv shel shakia shel eretz yavesha. It's a dry land. Shakia means you have to, manually irrigate it. Shetzorach lashkoisa. Sholkoi, not that it was kovish. Sholkoi, you put it together with shlika, which is less than bishul, let's say. Improve with cabbage shel baal. What's baal? Baal means ez hamistapekes mimeg shomim who shel truma. That was the truma. Also asher shakia mipnei shu belay. The shakia, which is the one which is dry, which needs a lot of irrigation, manual irrigation. That is the one which is dry, and that's the one because it's dry. It's belay. So you put these two things together. So if the baal was truma, so it's going to answer the shakia, which is belay. I say look the Pnei Moshe Pshat in a B'Shimon. Mipnei shu belay that the Menachul in the Mishnah. The Shel Shakia Rafia. The Shel Shakia is Rafia. So the Pnei Moshe learns which one is Shakia, which one is belay, which is the one that's Rafia. Who shall truma? I say I shall Shakia Mipnei shu belay. The Shakia is the one that's belay. Shel Shakia Rafi belay min abal. The same thing. I say out the Menachul the Zel Bazach. Look in the Mishnah again, the Rash Cirilla. Krusha Shakia Shal Sada Shemashkenoisa Todu, Aina Besa Shalkun Abi Raka. So the Shakia is the one which is Raka. Why is that Rakia? Because I guess it has more water. Shal Baal Shein Boel Elo Mota Hashemayim V'hi Kosher. Faket. Just the opposite. He says the one which is the more vestaba, right? He says the one that's dry, and it needs Shal Baal Shein Boel. No, I'm sorry, Shal Baal, which is softer, because it needs only irrigation from the Mata Hashemayim. It doesn't need any artificial irrigation. V'hu Kosher. And that's harder, not because it's softer. Forget, you learn that this is kosher. So there's a machlokes how to learn pshat in the Mishnah. If I was Gemara, Shoshaki Beleya, Shobalhu the Trum. The Masis and the Ika have a Yisr. So he's saying the Gemara is not like the Mishnah. They looked at it. Okay, let's see the Gemara. Zot the Gemara on Tzadik Vav on the bottom, Omid Beis. 2 lines from the bottom. Shimon Mikruv Shoshaki. Oh. Omer of Yosi. Having Savin Meimah Shobal Beleya. That the Baal is Belay. So the Baal, again, the one which doesn't need any artificial irrigation, that's softer, and that's Belay from the Shakir. That's what we held. Min ma da omer avuna sav min eva v'hav lefafulo hada omer shoshakir Belay. Pum faket. Not the Baal is Belay, the other way around, and we say the Baal is one that's Belay. It's the plain Moshe. Oh, on the right side, on the bottom, the last 3 lines. Those were shade in the Mishnah, Kruv Shoshaki. If you put the 2 types of vegetables together, Shoshaki Shabal, also Neshu Hu Beleya, but Yinu Soivim Loima, the Shabal Hu Beleya Mishoshaki. So we held like the B'yosi and the Havmin that the Baal is Beleya from the Shakir. Mishum the Mistama Lachu. The one that's Baal is Lach because it's moist, and that's why it doesn't need artificial irrigation because it's a moist field. Mamayim Shemashkenois Tomid, from where the Mistama Hu Mamayim Shemashkenois Tomid. Shakir Mishum the Mistama Lachu Mahamayim Shemashkenois Tomid Shabal. The Baal doesn't have any lachluchas, kol kach, like the shakir. Why is the shakir soft? The pung faket. Because the shakir is something which is constantly irrigated. You have a constant irrigation. You see the irrigation lines, they are constant, so that becomes softer than the Baal. And the shakir is also. If you really want to know, if this cabbage shall Baal, the one which stands on its own without any artificial irrigation, yesh boy lachlukas, you want to know if it's moist, tikach me'at mirapri, test some of the peiros that are in this field, shaloi, v'hu noisen l'chol lachlukas, shetigish miyat, yesh boy lachlukas, abba, v'nei she'oretz yilachas. So he says that what you got to do is go test it out. What do you have to rely on? It's about Shoshaki. Every field is different, some belt is different. He says, go test it out. The time is the same kasha by Truma, go test it out. The Shaki is the one that's Beleya Mishal Baal because you're constantly putting on water on it, so maybe that's the one that's softer, and that absorbs. What does Laflufa mean? It says, Min ma'ad omer avuna sav min eva yayiv laflufa. What does it mean, yayiv laflufa? Laflufa and Shabbat, that means the irrigation, and that gets the moisture. But the Gemara said, Lufluv Sheben, that's in the Gemara says that, and the Mishnah says it in the Mikvois. So look at the Menach folder. Sav min eva, mimokaim hamachlu bebigidu. Min eva means the place where this thing is touching the ground, connecting out with Shashaki Omer. And we're talking about here that something which is artificially irrigated. Hav leflufa, ma'ise kadei the meshubach shetikla tatam. It accepts the tam. Shema mino shuhu beleya. Reb Shimon the Masis and Pliga the Reb Shimon the Baisis to machlokes in if which one is beleya. Look the Gemara weiter. Yochanan ben Uriyoyme steht in the Mishnah. Because one says in the Mishnah steht that the Baal is beleya, and those say Shaki is beleya, so maybe it's shibtuch. So two Reb Shimons. What? Right. Look there, that's Punkt Paket. The Mishnah is Punkt Paket. The Mishnah doesn't say which one is which. So he's saying here that it's a Machlokes. So let down to the Pshat. How does he know that? Because it doesn't say, it says Belay, it doesn't say what. So well, I don't know why he looked to make a Machlokes out of it.
In the Mishnah we know.
How do you know? How do you know the Mishnah?
It says,
Shimon Oimer, Krusha, Shakim, Krusha, Baal, Os.
What's
Which one? I don't know. How do you know? How do you know?
that's what's also.
Which is a belay? The one that's softer, the one that's belay. So there's a big machlokes over here. Which is the belay? Is the belay the one that is naturally doesn't need water? So why doesn't it need water? Because it's soft. Or do we say the shaki is the one that now is belay because you're constantly putting water on it, so that becomes softer. But the other way, he's saying over here, Zok Rabbi Yossi, go test it out. In fact, you got to break your head over here to figure out what's what. Go test it out. Everyone is a little different, right? Depends if you give more, less. Okay, steht weiter in the Mishnah. Yami boy, Yami geklet as ashayla. Shaloka bechele mal. This is going on the covet. The covet said in the Mishnah on the liver. Covered, the last line on Sadik Vav and Aleph, last 3 lines in the Gemara, in the Mishnah. Covered, liver, Isedes, it asks something else, because it has a lot of dam, and the dam goes out, but ain't in Isedes. Doesn't become Osa if you put the covered with something which is Osa. The covered just has dam. They take out the dam, it's mutter. It's poilet, it gives out, and doesn't accept. Why? Because it's busy with the polita, it gives out, it's so much that gives out, so it doesn't allow anything to come in. The Rash Cirilla on the last 3 lines on the left side in the Mishnah, you put the cover together with a Dovish Issa, Mishum, Shupalat Vena Belaya, the Mitoshu Teruda Lifloy, because it goes out constantly busy with giving the plitim. Miribi Dam Shabbat has a lot of dam in the cover, like Bola, wasn't very called a boss, Plicatanoi. Okay, that's the Mishnah. Sholka b'cholav mal, covered, which is meat, and has in a dam. Sholka, you cooked it, but shlika b'cholav with milk mal. What's the din? It's not the shayla. What do you mean? Bossa shayla bossa b'cholav. Reb Zira lo yochal covered miyomah. Reb Zira never ate covered miyomah. Favos. Because it's not much dam, so he didn't eat it. Sholka, Rabba, Ba when? What? No, because the covered had a lot of dam, so he wasn't. Now listen what happened. His gang is Sholka Rabba went and he was shoylik the covered. But Ochlelei and Rabzida ate it. They learned the Mephoshim. He ate Rabzida, gave it to Rabzida, and he ate it. Is the Amrin Molcha, he made Melicha, like we do, we make Melicha on the cover. Rabba, Vochle. Rabba, then he ate it because not only if you make a shlika, you cooked it, but you have to cook it in such a way where the dam runs out. You can't just cook it in a pot, then it's no good. Zok the Pei Moshe. Sholka b'cholav mahu, choylev hu ha-choymitz, u'meloshe chalahu. He's learning up over here that's talking about some kind of a vinegar here. I don't know exactly what it means here. Moshe chalu, ve'echboy the tanina b'moed koi imcholtoi. If you cooked it with chila b'choymitz, ma'u she'es ha'achar. First with choymitz, it gets the dam goes inside. You can't take it out. He's learning against under the pshat. That the gemara loyochol miyomov. Abdin never ate it. Shloyo yedei hechlis nai. He didn't know what to do. The sholker rabba, kum rabba. Bishviloi b'chila, Rabbi came and said, no, you don't want to eat the covet. I'll fix it for you. And he went in shulk and he gave him to eat, and he ate it. V'zdami shumochaloi, he salted it for him. B'chiloi achta b'bishla. Others want to say, you don't want to be over and do b'chaveda. Chaveda told him to do something. As I said, good shot. Al kaponim, that's the din with covet. Zok the sholka b'cholav mahu. Do we say that this covet, this liver, becomes also the Gemara, he says, doesn't answer this question. So this Bible question unanswered. What's Taka Pshat? Why do we say that's not? Why isn't it Basa B'Cholah? Lo yochel kovet. So the b'zira hanishlika the chazra ubala. It never ate the kovet. Why? Even though you cook the kovet and you put it on a rotisserie and it runs down, the dam runs out of the kovet, but chayzir b'leya. Inami afilu sluya, even on a rotisserie, where you made it, you broiled it. Right, that's how you think the mama flag you see, like the kovet. Yeah, thanks. Okay, they make it.
That
Today you don't
iron
see it,
thing,
right? That's
that iron thing,
what the kovet, yeah. Yeah,
and that iron thing,
Yeah.
stuck it in the.
Yeah. That's why I can't eat it anymore. Like you, okay. Inami afilit sluya, even if it's roasted, lo yochel the adam pirish mimokim lemokim, then he yotz legami adei sleeve. Even though you put it on the rotisserie, so everything's running out. But Reb Zira was machmeh and didn't want to eat it because he held that it goes from one place to the other one. It's well done. Until Rabbi came, Rabbi said, "Listen, you can eat it," so he ate from Rabbi. So to not fool it. I'm talking the Rasirilla. The Rasirilla. I'm gonna have Zira. Shalka b'chol mahu on the right side, in the middle of the column, the right side. Loki mishum mavashul bosa b'chol. He wants to know, is this bosa b'chol? Is it a malchus? In mavashul, and just on the bishul alone, echo mavashul v'echo nani. He said bosa b'chol. Or like even like bola. Even if it was not belay, he says like the Rasirilla, but it's a bishul. So how you allowed to do this? Lo yochel kovetz. The mevzira mevushul miyomi. Never come mevushul miyomi mishum dam. The pirish menu v'hoda bola. Even though it goes out, it comes right back. Shokar abba b'chalei. Interessant. So now he went and he cooked it. Now, how are you allowed to cook it? The point is, after long that the bishul and shlik is two different things. Even though bishul is osher, you know, b'vashul kovet is alav in the Torah, lo yisevashul gediri b'chalei b'imoi, but shlik is mutter. So you see, that's not bishul. Shecholta b'roischim. What does it mean, shecholta? Now, he's explaining to us what shlik means, not with a fire. That means, shecholta means b'roischim, he took hot water, there's bashul doma b'seich. The dam is this bashul b'seich with the hot water. Be'inyan she'enin koletes oid kishes bashul mabasa. It doesn't give out again a second time. But dam hamamula b'seich mutter. Why? Because man sheyosh. That's the dam shlei pirish is mutter. Ochis imumad b'londa. Nachman aislei kavde shelikim and parish also the nachman chaltelei b'roischim. So that's why it was mutter. Zog the Gemara weiter. Chelmoin also. Chelmoin is the yolk in the middle, the yellow, and a beya. Mipnei shu belay. That is belay. That's why it's mutter. Tanu Reb Kafra. Chelmoin also because shken chelev habeim. The white, the zikr also the inside is mutter. Is also the zikr the white side. Okay, just a minute ago I said the Chassam Sofer in Chulin is masbeh this Gemara is like the Razoy. Daf Kuf Yud in Chassam Sofer. V'isi b'shom b'yishalmi miboyle Rabbi Yemya kabde shesholka b'chal v'yishari anat. What's the shaila? What's the shaila? You put in cholav and you put shlika. Why should it be mutter? Nearly finished. Died. Let me sakali he b'chlal b'bosa b'cholav. Who memuid b'mayder meaning like kamad of kuf yigimel is vashel leave b'chelav down. So why should it be mutter?
Like it there, please.
Pshita like the b'vashel kovet b'cholav like it.
Like it there.
A kovet that said mislead the trumas. Zog the Chassam Sofer. The reason why kovet is said mislead the trumas mainly because the truma d'rabbanan shekilu. We're talking about kula d'rabbanan, and kovet they said is only d'rabbanan. Kula truma. Sheina said is b'tam ela ham mizbashel mabasa. Shemoish chatam hatruma el atzma. He's talking about truma with kovet. So it's moishach the time into the kovet. B'yoysev v'alokam b'yoysev menuri v'ama yesh b'mine bosa shoyse hatruma v'ein nesem in hatruma. What's oyser not nesem? That's a kovet. So you cook the kovet with truma. That's how he's learning pshat here in the Gemara. Hua kovet shoyser hatruma b'plitis domai v'ein nesem. So the kovet doesn't become moser from the truma. Why? Because it's spoiled and it's not belay. So the kovet which is cooked together with truma lands up pshat. even though I don't see anybody learning like
what
this.
happened with Bas
Because, one second, Mishum Sheini B'dayan Sham, B'Pesh Rambam, one second, because the Surah Mishum